So it's that week between Christmas and the New Year. I hope your celebrations, if you've been celebrating, have been going well, or that you've been having a break while the rest of us have not been sending emails or pushing work around the world. So during this period, many of us have had dinners and parties, and probably some of us have had to lay or done many laying of tables and place settings. Now, when I've been doing that over the last few days, I've rummaged in the drawers in our kitchen and, of course, picked out knives, forks, spoons, kebab sticks, all sorts of things, and laid them down on people's places without any regard, really, to who was going to sit in those places or whether that knife or that fork was particularly special to that person. And then on the rest of the table, little pepper pots and little spoons for all sorts of amazing Christmas treats just laid scattered on the table. And that's the way it is, and that's the way it should be, because those things are utensils. It's very different, isn't it, in terms at the moment of how we see our mobile devices. These things are quite special to us. We cherish them, and that's great. They're personal, in some ways intimate devices. Try this experiment over the next few days. Ask someone if you can take their mobile and have a go. Use the web browser, flick through the photos. If you know them very well, that it might not be a problem. If they are visiting great aunt or uncle you haven't seen for some time, or a friend of a friend, or even just a good friend, there might be some reticence. Not simply because people don't want you to look perhaps at the things they've been browsing or the photos they've got on their phones, but it's like asking perhaps to, can I borrow your t-shirt? It's a little bit personal, a little bit private. So I wonder what a more utensil type of mobile design would look like. Now, on some operating systems, there's already some features that you can quickly switch into guest mode and give it to another person. And in guest mode, the new user, the temporary user, gets to see only a vanilla, bland presentation of the content on the phone, and they can use the web browser and so on. But there's much more that could be done right. So what happens if I am picking up my phone and I'm sharing photos with a friend? Perhaps the phone can know that there is more than one person looking at it, and more than simply me, the owner, looking at it. And perhaps those photos which are sensitive or not relevant to the conversation might be hidden dynamically as I flick through the device. There's been some nice work on this by a group in the University of Cape Town. Thomas Reitmeyer has looked at how you might go through your own photo album, tagging it, each photo saying whether or not that's a private photo or a public photo, so that when you're browsing, that kind of interaction can be afforded. Let's take it a bit further again and think about those utensils. Those utensils in the drawer that I picked out and placed on the table. They weren't for a particular person. They could be used by many people. They can be put back in the drawer, taken out, used in a very lightweight way. What would be the equivalent of that in mobile design? Well, one possibility has been suggested by a group at the University College London. Yvonne Rogers and her colleagues coined the phrase scrap computing. The notion that just like bits of paper on the table or receipts, that I just want to pick up something, quickly use it, and then place it down. And her team demonstrates an interesting prototype around a game that some of you might have played over Christmas. And that's the game of consequences. Let me remind you, if you don't know what it is, you take a piece of paper in a team and you draw a picture of a character's head, like this. I can't see very well here. I'm not a great artist. And then once you've drawn the picture, you fold it over, and then the next person will draw the body, and so on. You pass the paper around the table, around the party. And what the UCL team did was to build a version of that on a tablet computer. So instead of a bit of paper, they had these tablet computers, and you sketched the picture on the top and then passed it around. And what they wanted to see is how people would treat these tablet computers compared to how they would treat a piece of paper playing the game. And they found some very interesting findings that people could and wanted to see those tablet computers as devices which were not special to them, but just props for the moment for that game. Digital scrap paper, if you like. So here's a question as we go into the new year for you. What is it, and how would you take this notion of utensil computing a little bit further in the design of your apps and of your services? I'll take this opportunity now, because I don't expect to do another one of these videos before 2015, to wish you a happy, world-changing, user experience full year.